das gar nicht machen. Also für meinen Untersuchungsmodus. Doch, jetzt kann ich es wieder machen. Hä? Warum ging es denn da vorne eben nicht bei den Dudes hier? Oh, der ist Albert Palmer.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Okay.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
Ah ja.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Ah ja. Das kann ich auch jetzt fragen.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I've a future here.
Ah, ja, der Albert, der vielversprechende Nachwuchs. Untersuchung erfolgreich. Der hat auch der hat Erschöpfung. Das ist natürlich geben.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. If she's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Kann ich auch nichts Neues fragen? Ja, gut.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk
Oh,
arse.
ich habe gar nicht geschaut, was der für... Albert ist 1, 665, naja. Wenn ich ihn von der Erschöpfung heile, wird er wahrscheinlich deutlich mehr bringen. Wie hatte der jetzt noch Erschöpfung? War jetzt extra
Litter in the streets. Not me.
How are you?
I'm not your...
Kann ich dich jetzt nicht behandeln? Also ich könnte ihn auf jeden Fall ein bisschen mehr rehabilitieren. Ich will den ja, wenn dann erst... Ja, der hat Erschöpfung. Der Gangway sollte Albert, der Anführer der Wet Boot Boys, treffen. Da natürlich noch ein paar Hinweise.
Goodbye, young man.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
Ah ja. War noch jemand. Benjamin Palmer. Hey, servus.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of a street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Oh, das stellt sich raus.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming
Wer
up
ist der Vater von
roses.
ihm? Benjamin ist ein Kriegsveteran.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Okay. Der ist auch Stufe 1. Der hat Migräne. Migräne haben wir, glaube ich,
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Okay. Ja, Persönliches. Oh ja, Krieg ist unlocked.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
Also, nee, das sind Nerven.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
I'm not ashamed.
Ich
I
guter
just need my
Arzt. Nee,
pills.
Leute, nur gut zu.
Peace and quiet, that's all.
Hinweis. Server wollte aus der Medizin achten. Jawohl. Warte mal. 480 ist er schon wert. 40% Migräne, wenn ich ihn davon heile.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really?
Naja.
And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Illegale Apotheke, okay.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Okay. Habe ich hier jetzt irgendwas Neues bekommen? Die Palmas sind jetzt erfolgreich. Den haben wir auch erfolgreich. Er hat Erkältung, Migräne. Er hat Erschöpfung, der Albert. Auswahl der Kopfschmerzen, den können wir auch machen. Das müssen wir halt noch machen. Das müssen wir machen. Aber es schaut ja eigentlich ganz gut aus. Jetzt suchen wir mal weiter hier nach. Unbekannt. Guten Tag, die Dame.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh,
Ach, wirklich?
really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Okay. Hier kann ich handeln.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Okay.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody
ja.
bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Ja, von Bates, von dem weiß ich schon. Die ist auf jeden Fall gesund. Die hat Stufe 3.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Okay. So, jetzt kann ich ja noch gar nicht fragen. Erstmal,
I'd like to
was
see what
handelst du
kind
denn?
of...
Swanboroughs Mixtur. In der größtenteils lateinischen Liste der Inhaltsstoffe der die wieder für bei Teile zerlegt werden, einfach nur. Schon irgendwas Besonderes, was ich da rauskrieg. Sonst hat die hier nichts so... Die hat halt lauter Medikamentenzeugs.
gangs of...
Good evening.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Okay.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
Die verkauft einfach Medizin.
Everything would be better.
Hier ist wieder unser Freund. Vollmer. Ja, ich muss da lang. Jetzt ist da vorne. Ah, das ist Cadogan Bates. Da drin ist unbekannt, aber erstmal hier wieder Herr Bates.
Good
Tag.
evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say a live tenant's a paying tenant.
Ah ja. Ja, gut gelaunt eigentlich. Wie könnte ich Ihren Geschäft eine
What
Hilfe sein?
help could I
Ja klar, wenn Sie
possibly be
gesund
to
sind,
your
dann
business?
That's
bieten
simple.
Sie.
I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
Boah, da könnte ich ihn direkt jetzt hier ablehnen. Also ich weiß nicht. Ich habe keinerlei Hinweise zu ihm. Er hat Erkältung.
I've no interest in money. Perhaps one
Ja,
night
alle
I will
gesund machen,
visit
damit
you
sie mir mehr
and take
Erfahrung
what I
geben.
require. If that should happen, there will be no need for a middleman.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swanborough shit.
Ah, ja.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
Okay.
What is your
Was machst du
business
denn genau?
exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
Ah ja. Ah ja. Geld, indem herunterkommen in Wohnungen an die Migranten vom Whitechapel vermietet. Ja genau, die weiblichen Migranten, die was ihnen gefallen, die können auch anderweitig zahlen. Vorteilen Sie, es gibt immer notwendige Übel. Sie sind eine abschlossene Person. Da kann ich wieder sagen, negativ, das ist,
I
ja.
don't approve of your actions, but I know very little about this borough, other than its reputation. There are always necessary evils.
A necessary evil. That's one way to think about it. Knew you had more smarts than all these immigrants.
Zumindest habe ich ein bisschen Respekt von ihm. Ihn könnte ich auch mesmerieren, er ist auch eins zumindest.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are
Ja,
just
Gedanken
beginning to
machen,
discover
wenig
what
denn
we've always
alles hier
known. This
snacken.
city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
Ich muss ihn
People
erst
are acting
heilen,
like the
bevor ich
violence
ihn
is
aussauge.
news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
Okay. Ah.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance.
Okay.
Jesus. Make me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you.
Okay, das sage ich jetzt, aber ist das wirklich so?
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane.
No.
Bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Warum sind Sie so dankbar? Hat sie
Has she
behandelt
treated
erstmal?
you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
Tell me
Warum bist du
truthfully,
denn so dankbar?
why are you so thankful?
By keeping my tenants alive, she's making me a rich man. Every month they live, it's more coin in my pocket.
Ja, okay, klingt logisch. Er will halt einfach fucking Geld. Gute Sache, denn sie hält wieder bei guter Gesundheit, ja. Cadogan ist hier unten, der steht so ganz alleine, der hat keine Beziehung zu anderen. Die stehen zusammen, die Palmers. Die sind auch beide 1. Dorothy ist 2. Die Loretta ist gerade 3. Er ist auch 1. Also hier in Whitechapel, ich meine, der Status ist eh schon bedenklich, da könnte ich mir auch einfach alles absnacken, was ich will.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby.
Eine Christine? Wir gehen jetzt erstmal hier rein.
History seems to get uglier every year. What? What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Das heißt, ich muss ihn hier jetzt... Ah, hier. Ah ja, da ist er.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Ein Dichter.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Er ist ihm auf der Spur? Was hast du denn für einen Dreck am Stecken?
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius.
Ah ja.
Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Dann haben wir jetzt zweimal den Richard und den Clayton. Aber wir haben auch... hier... Wo ist er da? Darius Petrescu, da ist rechte Hand von Dorothy. Ist Dorothy was Neues? Nein.
It's locked, all right.
Ah ja. War ja klar. Da vorne weg, wir gehen mal hier lang. Ist wieder mit keine Leute. Oh, der schaut nicht so friendly aus. Wer bist du denn?
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I'm
Du
Dr.
bist ein
Reed.
Händler.
I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Okay. Die kann ich auf jeden Fall handeln.
How is business around
Wie
here?
läuft's
Business?
denn? Erst mal eine
I have no
Smalltalk.
business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see.
Aha.
Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Okay. Joe Peterson.
As a merchant, you see
Und
Whitechapel
Louis.
every
Oh,
day.
nice.
Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean, besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Wurde
Have you
wieder
been hurt?
verletzt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Okay.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
Eventuell
The
wieder
closed
Skulls.
workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Das heißt hier, Plunder und mehr, neue Untersuchungen. Genau, das dachte ich mir eben. Das hört sich sehr nach einer Nebenquest an. Persönlich kann ich die nicht fragen, ich es mit
Have
Dorothy
you heard of
aus.
a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always
That's
thought
a
she was
stumper.
just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like
Echt?
Dorothea Craniu. Something like
Aha.
that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Ich habe zu Dorothy einen neuen Ding. Das ist für kostenlos Medizin, ja? Und das ist eigentlich ja echt gut. Und zu dir, Brad befindet sich 14 in Krise, da er von Joe erpresst wird. Und bei Joe steht da jetzt was dabei. Joe Peterson, ja, dasselbe. So, dann,
Right
was hast du denn im Angebot?
Show me what...
Ah ja, du hast hier ganz... Oh, ja, echt viel guten Shit. So ein kleiner Teil des Gewinns, sogar ein Teil des guten Griffs, ein kleiner. Alter. Alter, ey, du bist toll. Und das hier ist Joe. Der hier ist Joe Peterson. Da hinten ist noch jemand.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say?
Im ersten nichts gesagt.
It's quite a
Das
rare
heißt, du
breed in
weißt
this
eventuell,
part
wer
of
das
town.
ist, wo ich
Really?
ihn finde.
But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Du bist gesund, okay. Und du bist 30 Aufmerksamkeit hier.